Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official Smash Brothers podcast. Tempcast, episode number 7. Today I'm joined by Eric
Hello, friends.
and special guest Steven,
Hey, everybody.
and they call me the Alan John. Now, you might have noticed I refer to Steven as our special guest, and it's no coincidence that just a couple of hours ago, well, not a couple of hours ago, about 24 hours ago, if you think about it. That's not a couple, that's an entire day. Steve was announced for Smash Brothers. That's right, Steve from Minecraft was announced as a new fighter in Smash Brothers, the Nintendo game with mostly Nintendo characters. That's right, Steve, the little blocky dude from Minecraft, is going to be fighting against characters such as Link, Mario, Zelda. Wait, is Zelda in Smash Brothers? Is
Yes.
Zelda play
Big time.
character? All right. Ganondorf, Mega Man, Sonic, and Snake, and
Tingle.
Tingle, of course. And Steve is going to be there. And wow, what a shock that was. I'm not even a Smash Brothers player. The only Smash game I played was Smash 64, and I was testing out an N64 emulator on my phone. That was the only time I played Smash, and I've been keeping up with the news, just getting into the hype, because the hype is unreal before these announcements. And I watched that announcement, that live mini direct, whatever it's called, yesterday, and I saw the chat reactions. Wow. I don't think anybody really expected this. Do you guys have any opinions before I get deep into this topic?
Well, I just want to say I'm very proud of our good friend Steven for finally being in Smash Brothers and then taking the time to actually join us on this podcast the very next day. So thank you, Steven, for that. I am a little disappointed that it was not a Fire Emblem character. I feel like that series hasn't gotten a whole lot of representation in Smash Bros. But, they have a little bit here and there, so that's okay. I don't have very strong opinions about Steve from Minecraft being in it, honestly, because I don't really care. It seems like a character that does fit in with the series in general. I am very happy to see that people are fighting about it because that's really what Smash Bros players do, is argue every single time there's a new character. So I'm just really happy to see that Smash players are very happy or very upset about this. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it too. The only strong opinion I have about it is in response to the people that are really angry about it, because I don't know. I think he's a good pick for a character. I mean, I realize he was kind of a meme and he started out as a stupid jokey thing, but at the end of the day, Minecraft is one of the most successful video games of all time, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in Smash. And I mean, honestly, his moveset does look kind of interesting. There's a lot of weird stuff you can do with him, so I'm into it.
I think a lot of the reason why people are upset about it are the people who just hate Minecraft because kids like Minecraft. So, but kids shouldn't be liking Smash Bros. Because that's a big boy game. I don't know. I just feel like people are mad that he's from Minecraft. I don't really understand because, like you said, his moveset seems unique. Like you could do some pretty cool things with him. So I think that he fits in at least as well as Piranha Plant did.
Yeah, it's just people hating things that are popular. It's the same thing as, the unwarranted hate on Fortnite, say. Like, just anything that's popular is going to get trashed by certain people.
Is there really that much hate? Because what I saw was just people being really, really surprised about this announcement. I didn't see much hate.
I saw some hate in the GBA temp thread, yeah.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
I came from where you were, though. I was surprised. I didn't expect it, mainly just, I don't know, I guess it was too much of a meme, I guess, but it's, I don't know, I really, it's interesting. I'm excited to play him. I don't feel too strongly one way or another about him, to be totally honest. What was your thoughts on it?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a Smash player. I don't really care, but I like the hype. I like the memes around it. And usually before you get this kind of announcement, before a fighter is revealed, you get a lot of memes like Heavy from Team Fortress 2 is now in Smash, or Master Chief, or Freddy Fazbear from FNAF, whatever. Steve from Minecraft was a meme. That was a total meme. Nobody seriously expected it. It's on par with Sans from Undertale, and Sans actually got into Smash, but not as a fighter, but as a trophy or whatever. I don't know.
He's a costume you can put on your Mii fighters.
That's cool. That's cool. So you could actually literally play as Sans.
Yeah.
That's actually cool.
It's interesting, too, because the other Mii fighter costumes, like, you can still see, the Mii's face. It looks like a Mii wearing an outfit, whereas Sans just looks like Sans. Like, there's no... You wouldn't... If you just saw footage of him fighting, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a Mii fighter.
Sans Undertale. Yeah. So, with this presentation, it ended really interestingly with Sakurai just scratching his chin and thinking just like us, like, what the was that? Steve from Minecraft in Smash Brothers? How does that even work? But okay, I'll tell you one thing though. Now, you might not believe me, but the instant if you watch the trailer, then it starts off with Sonic punching Mario off the stage, and Mario gets thrown through some wall into some cave.
Yep.
The instant Mario gets through that wall and the hole is made out of 2 squares, I knew it.
Oh, yeah?
That it was Steve. I knew it. Because only in Minecraft could holes be squares. I knew it instantly. Like, and then you hear like the sounds in caves, like the sound that zombies make, the skeleton sounds. Oh, dude, that was surreal seeing Mario in that kind of environment. That's a meme right there. Reality doesn't even make sense anymore.
Are you telling me that holes can't be squares? That's the only thing I got out of that. It's like holes can be squares.
I'm just saying
They're
Mario
often
isn't
squares.
a square. Mario isn't a square, so how would he make a square hole?
Oh no, I guess you're right, but it's just the way you said it. It's like only in Minecraft are holes squares. It's like except no. But I know what you mean.
Alan John, he never had those toys when you're like 4 where you have to put the, round fucking peg in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole.
I always failed those things. I didn't get much into them.
He couldn't see the square one.
Like, this is impossible. How could a hole be square?
What sorcery is this?
Oh, I'm sorry, I derailed. What were we talking about?
No, the Smash trailer. I think really a lot of these Smash trailers have been really good for weird surreal moments like that. Like you said, seeing, a fully 3D rendered Mario in that Minecraft environment. A lot of these Smash trailers have been really good for that. And I don't know, I didn't put it together as quickly as you. I didn't really put it together until I saw like the 2 blocks get knocked down to make the little door for Steve to come in. And then, like you said, it even plays off the meme a little bit, because him and Mario do just stare at each other for like a good 10 seconds or 5 or something. They're just like, what the f*** am I looking at? What is this?
Mario's like, wait, why this guy?
Yeah, like, he really is just baffled. And yeah, I don't know. Nintendo's good at trolling its audience like that. Like the Banjo-Kazooie one had a brilliant troll back in it, where they were teasing that it was going to be Banjo-Kazooie because you'd see like an animal with a bird on its back, and then it ended up being the Duck Hunt dog. Like you could see the silhouette, and then it was the Duck Hunt dog, and he did his little like trolley laugh thing, and then they got kicked out of the way by Banjo and Kazooie, and then it led into the actual trailer.
Yeah.
They're good at stuff like that.
Just wait until you see that Keyblade. My boy Sora's coming to Smash. I'm telling you.
It's entirely possible. It is. Like, now anything's possible. Master Chief is possible. Gordon Freeman is possible.
Yeah.
Doomslayer, it's possible.
God, I would actually love to see Doomslayer.
Kratos.
Kratos, maybe, but I doubt it.
No.
See, I still like there to be some Nintendo pedigree here. Like, Cloud back in the day is, like, Final Fantasy VII hadn't been on a Nintendo console at that point, but like, Final Fantasy has a big Nintendo pedigree, and Cloud is probably the most recognizable character from Final Fantasy, so that makes sense. I would say Doomslayer makes sense, because, you know, they were huge on the Super Nintendo back in the day. Like, obviously Minecraft is big on the Switch and the Wii U. Like, I don't know, people seem to get upset if it's not a hardcore Nintendo character or something, but I still think they have this connection to Nintendo that is just as valid as anyone else.
I will say Cloud was on a Nintendo system prior to him being in Smash.
Was he in Chain of Memories?
He was in Chain of Memories.
Oh my god.
So that's your Kingdom Hearts rep.
Exactly. Oh no, not exactly.
You're not gonna get Sora. You're not gonna get Sora. What's his name? Sora.
Sora.
Sorrow. Yeah.
Sorrow
from Metal Gear Solid 3. Sorrow in Smash.
Oh man, I would love to play as some of those guys.
Yeah.
The end.
Well, what you said, Steven, about the Nintendo characters, what other Nintendo characters are there left for Smash?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's many that have a huge impact, really. Like, there's, I think, Geno, who's, I guess, technically a Square Enix character, is probably the biggest Nintendo character people are still wanting. Him or Paper Mario, maybe.
Who's Gino?
Gino is, he's Mario's brother. He's another Italian plumber, I think. He was from Mario RPG back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, he was a little doll that came to life. He's only, as far as I know, he's only ever been in Super Mario RPG. Which I love. I played that game over and over when I was a kid, so like I've been excited for him for a long time, but I don't think he's gonna happen. He was a Mii costume in 4 and a spirit in this new one, and Mii fighters have become full-fledged fighters in the past, but no spirits have ever been fighters, so I don't think he's gonna end up being a DLC fighter, unfortunately. But like, yeah, it's him, like Paper Mario maybe, but it's mostly gonna be third-party characters from here on out, I think. Because, well, of the, how many have been released so far? 8 have been announced of the DLC fighters, and only Piranha Plant, the Fire Emblem rep, and the ARMS rep have been Nintendo characters. Everyone else has been third party.
I think there's one OG Nintendo character left that they could put in Smash. Just one. Could you guess who?
No one comes to mind.
I've been trying to guess who. I can't think of who.
This is like an OG character. Everybody knows him. Everybody, even your grandmother and your mom and your dad. Guess.
No one comes to mind.
Well, you call yourself gamers, but you don't know this guy? Wow. It's the L block from Tetris.
Ah, I was gonna say that. Yes, because then he could fight. Wait, how do you know about Tetris if holes can't be squares?
What?
What?
Yeah, because you could form a square hole.
Yeah, but that's Tetris. That's not real life.
I just want to point out that spirits cannot be fighters, as I previously stated, and the L block is a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Is it really?
It is, yep. So, I hate to disprove your theory, Alan John. Also, assist trophies cannot be fighters, so the paddles and the ball from Pong also cannot become a fighter.
I hate this game. Dude, but could you imagine the final smash for the pawn and the ball? That would be so cool. It'd just be knocking everybody off the stage.
That would be pretty fun, actually. Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of rage would there be if this was actually the last fighter they showed? If this was fighter number 6, and everybody's expecting like Dante, Sora, whatever. Travis Scott, or what was the guy's
Travis Scott?
Not Travis Scott, but
Michael Scott?
No, not Michael Scott. Travis something. He was
Touchdown.
from
Touchdown.
No More Heroes.
Travis
Yeah,
Touchdown.
Travis Touchdown. Yeah,
Travis Scott. Oh,
Travis Scott is a possibility as well. He was in Fortnite. So.
Oh, was he really?
Oh yeah, the default Fortnite characters could be in Smash. It's entirely possible.
Absolutely. And you know what? I would have the same position that I do with Minecraft Steve, which is that, like, you know what? Like, it's a popular game. It's maybe a bit more flash in the pan than Minecraft has proven. We don't know yet, but like, I wouldn't have an issue with default Fortnite going in there.
You know who would have an issue with Fortnite being in there? Apple and Google, but that's a different story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
How about we do this? How about we make predictions on who the next Smash fighter is going to be? How about we start with Eric, because I think I know who he's picking.
Krillin. I think it's going to be Krillin from Dragon Ball.
Come on.
Kid Krillin specifically.
Come on, stop trolling us.
No, I genuinely don't know. I do not think actually that Sora is going to be in it. I don't think so. Well,
are you Alan John said he doesn't play. Are you like a Smash player? I know you don't have a Switch, but have you played a lot of the other ones?
yes, I've played a lot of Brawl, and I played some Melee, but also I do play Ultimate enough to be considered a casual at it because I play it at my friend's place a lot, but I generally play as Bowser, where I let everybody beat themselves up, and then I grab them and throw them off the stage as a suicide
so
bomb.
you're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, you and Ganondorf main, so you're just the worst.
Yeah, sometimes I play as Cloud, where I stand far away and charge up the sword and just run up to people and stab them. So those are my two boys. Oh, I also play as King Dedede because I'm just the big boys. So
who just throw things from the other end of the stage or grab people and suicide bomb them.
Yeah, I'm like, these guys are better than me, but they're also not focusing on me. So I'm just gonna vibe over here, stay posted up.
I'm one of those guys that I mainly play like 1v1s with one of my friends, and like,
oh, I can't do that.
I would say I've played, aside from 64, actually maybe not even that one, I've played Ultimate the least out of all the Smash Bros. Games, and I think I have close to 300 hours in it. I play... Wow. I mean, it's just something I've always done with my friends, is to just like pour ludicrous amounts of hours into Smash. So I am very into Smash Bros. Sorry, you didn't get to finish your prediction. I just wanted to get a sense of where everyone is with the series.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, I actually don't have a prediction. I don't think Sora would do it. I'm a little worn out of all of the swordsmen and women. So
swordsman.
So it's either Krillin or that's it. I genuinely can't think of anybody.
Why would you think Krillin would be in Smash before Goku?
Goku's too OP.
There's not enough bald representation in Smash Bros.
There's not. So actually, we're gonna get Krillin and Tien and Piccolo and Nappa, and there's a lot of bald people in that show. And Master Roshi.
Is Akira Toriyama bald? Is he?
No, he's not.
George Costanza, Larry David.
Yeah.
Larry David in Smash. Yes, please.
No, my predictions are all memes. Nobody cares about that.
Rick Moranis? We know he can take a punch.
We do.
Oh
yeah.
My God. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
But specifically his Dark Helmet.
For those who don't know, a couple of hours ago, Rick Moranis in New York was punched in the face.
And then someone dropped a Smash invitation letter on his chest and ran away.
Yeah.
With the wax seal.
He was punched by Mario, actually.
He was supposed to fly he was supposed to fly off into a wall and end up in Minecraft land, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, he just laid it on the ground and like a square opened underneath him. And Alan John was like, "Wait, what is this?"
Yeah, he was like, "This is clearly a deep fake. There's no such thing as a square hole."
Steven, what do you predict?
I honestly don't know. The Smash characters have been so out of left field. Like, I guess for everyone who's not following it, it's been Joker, who was in a spin-off Persona game on the 3DS, so like he's technically been on Nintendo console. It was Hero from Dragon Quest, who's probably a decent pick. Banjo-Kazooie, who's been one of the like big ones that everyone's wanted for ages. And then Terry from Fatal Fury, I believe, which was, again, like, it's just such an out there random pick that nobody was ever talking about. Like, it seems to be a combination of obscure picks that no one would expect and complete memes, and with I guess Banjo-Kazooie and Hero, a little bit of wish fulfillment for the fans. So, like, the only thing I could go for, because also, like, Minecraft Steve and Sans have been big memes. They've been wanted for a long time by the fans. So, like, Nintendo does seem to be listening to an extent. They did that Smash poll near the end of the Smash Wii U's life cycle for its DLC. So, like, I guess the only prediction I could make is, like, maybe they are going to do a lot of the big ones that fans want, like Geno or Paper Mario, or Sora even, because there is a big contingent of people that want that. But, like, I honestly have no idea where to go with this from here on out. Like, it's really impossible to tell. They've been all over the place with their picks so far. But it makes each reveal super exciting, honestly. Like, I kind of love it.
Yeah, you can't predict it.
No, you can't. Alan John, what about you?
You're going to laugh at me, but I'm going to say this completely seriously. Master Chief. Now, he's not going to be announced as fighter number 3 or 4, possibly 5. I mean, who else but Master Chief, really? We know that Microsoft is friendly with Nintendo. They've given them the rights to have Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, and Steve from Minecraft, and Microsoft owns Minecraft. So
and the Vault Boy from Fallout. Now they didn't own him at the time, but that is technically another Microsoft representative in Smash now.
I just thought of 2 actual predictions, but I'll let you finish.
if you think about it, Master Chief would work as a Smash character because he's got like the energy sword. He could be like a sword character, and he could have like a special attack using his rifle, maybe throw some grenades. I think it works. So yeah, that's my prediction.
I think he could work too, honestly. I think you would get a massive backlash from the like Nintendo purists, but like, I don't know. I don't really care. He's a big video game character. If Smash wants to become a place to celebrate video games in general and not just Nintendo characters, I'd be okay with that. I don't necessarily expect it. I think if they were going to go for a Master Chief type character, it would be the Doomslayer first, because, well, Microsoft owns that now too. Although I'm sure all these characters are already shaken out, but before that acquisition happened, maybe in the next Smash game we'll get Doomslayer. But I don't know. It's really interesting.
So I think that there's a possibility that it could be Crash Bandicoot, since we were talking about other properties, but Crash seems more of another one of those wishful thinking things like Banjo-Kazooie, where it's like, actually, his moves could work in it. Spyro could also work, but I really think that Crash Bandicoot, which has that gives you the sort of Sony-esque representation, but also having that connection with Nintendo and being just the mascot character. I think that would be pretty cool.
And was that both? Was Crash and Spyro yours? Or did you
Crash
have
and
another one?
Spyro, but mostly Crash.
I kind of talked myself into the Doomslayer a little bit, because with the Fallout character, that would have been Bethesda whenever Nintendo made that arrangement, and obviously Bethesda owns Doom as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went to them to work out a deal for the Doomslayer and had the little Vault Boy thing come in at the same time. So maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't be totally shocked to see Doomslayer at this point. And I think he would be a good fit. Like, obviously they would have to tone him down, like, you know, the violence, but I think that would be cool, and I would love to see him, even if it was just to have a Smash stage that I could play Rip and Tear on. It would be a lot of fun. There's one other little thing with, especially like, oh man, the remix that they would come up with it, because they remix a lot of these songs too. That would be so fucking good. But there's one other little thing I wanted to talk about. There was a dude who used to be at Mojang. I should look it up because I can't remember exactly who he is.
Is he Notch?
He's not Notch. He was talking about it on Twitter, and I believe Notch deleted his Twitter, didn't he? But this guy was saying that the talks for Steve to be in Smash Bros. Started as early as 2014. They've been trying to hash this out for ages.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I've heard rumors of the Ender Dragon being like in Smash or something like that as like a boss stage or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting because we only sort of touched on it, but in the little video afterwards that Sakurai did, he did sort of seem like this wasn't really his decision, and he basically spent 3 minutes complaining about how hard it was to make to make Steve work in in Smash Bros. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting that they went back that far. I wonder if that was working out rights things or financial deals, or if it was Sakurai pushing back and not wanting to do it, or if he agreed to it early on, or if he just needed that much time to make it work. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting that they've been talking about it for that long.
Yeah, I was surprised that Sakurai even plays Minecraft. Like, he showed us like his Minecraft world, his house, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. He even said that he enjoys playing survival more than creative mode, which was surprising for me.
Yeah, totally. He's talked about that in a few of these. Like when he did... Actually, I don't know if he did one of these live streams for Joker. No, because he got announced at the Game Awards. But I know there was an interview or something after Joker came out where he talked about how much he enjoyed playing Persona 5. And like for a lot of these, he has talked about his experience with the games. I'm not sure if he did with Banjo-Kazooie. But yeah, he seems to be an active video game player, which is kind of cool, honestly. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on to other news in the gaming world, Cyberpunk 2077, a game that has been delayed constantly in the past couple of years, has finally a solid release date on November 19th, if I recall correctly. And recently, the head of the development team announced that indeed the developers will be crunching this game until it's released. So basically working overtime, despite the fact that they said that they will try to not do that and that they're categorically against crunching. So do you guys have any opinion on this, or just Cyberpunk 2077 or CD Projekt Red for that matter?
I'm a big fan of CD Projekt Red in general because they own GOG, which we talked about briefly last week, but I'm a big fan of because I like, big releases getting DRM-free stuff. So in general, I like their company, and I really haven't played a lot of their games, though obviously everyone has nothing but good things to say about The Witcher. When it comes to the crunch thing, I don't know. It's a more complicated situation than I think most people will give it credit for, because a lot of people hear that and they assume that it's only just starting, but there have been reports of people being in crunch for years now on Cyberpunk, or like maybe they'll do a few months on and then a few months off, and then not off completely, but off from crunch, still working full weeks, and then they'll go into like 80 and 100-hour weeks for a few months and then go back to a normal 40-hour week. And I don't know, it's a complicated issue. I don't know. Eric, do you want to touch on it before I ramble for too long?
No, I think I concur with everything that you said. CD Projekt Red is one of those companies that are game companies that everybody loves, and then something happens, and then people turn on them. Like Naughty Dog, to me, can do no wrong until they do wrong. I used to back in the day, I thought, oh man, Ubisoft can do no wrong. Oops. So they do wrong now. But CD Projekt Red, it's one of those things where, every time something bad happens now, everybody's going to turn on them. As for crunch time, I think that it's expected. I'm not at all surprised. I don't have very strong opinions about it. I just hope that the workers are able to go to sleep at night and get money and be healthy. And that's what I care about, is their physical and mental health throughout all of this.
Yeah, because that touches on something else too, which is that a lot of the people that work on these games are contractors. It's not like they have secured jobs and, they'll have a hellish few months or weeks of crunch. A lot of them will go through this crunch and then their contract expires and they need to go look for another job. So it's only tangentially related to what you were saying, I guess, but just in the terms of the mental health thing, like that's still a lot of pressure to put on them. And this crunch culture, again, there's more pressure put on them because they think maybe if they play along and they do what they're supposed to, they'll get to stay on permanently, and I'm sure some do, but again, it's just another source of stress for them during all this.
One thing I really am confused by is that this game has been delayed multiple times already, and the last time it was delayed, it was supposed to come out in May, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
So at that time, they said that the game was basically complete, and all they had to do was refine some bugs. And they've been refining these bugs. I understand completely that there's, because of the coronavirus situation and all that maybe they had some issues working from home, possibly. But fixing up bugs doesn't sound like something that requires that much time, like around 6 months of additional development. I think that's, I'm just an idiot. I haven't made a single game in my life, well, other than Alien John, which was never finished. You could Google that if you want. That's like a real game I made.
Nice.
But I'm an idiot, but I don't think that a game that's been in development since 2013, was that when it started development? Was that when the trailer came out?
Not sure. I know Witcher came out in 2015, so presumably like maybe they didn't start full-fledged production until then, but I'm not sure when the first trailer was.
Even still, like, even if they started development in 2016, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Really. So I'm really confused. And also, a bit of a controversy is that they've been removing features from this game. I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard of this.
Cyberpunk was announced in 2012.
2012. That's
Yeah.
wow. That's about 8 years, possibly, of development time. So, yeah, the game, for example, used to have wall running, and they just removed that mechanic completely from the game. It's not available anymore because they realized that players could just run up on walls infinitely. I mean, I'm an amateur game developer. I developed like for a couple of weeks.
You crunched on Alan John or Alien John or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I've crunched a little bit on Alien John, and if I had that issue where you could run up a wall infinitely, I feel like I could very easily fix that issue by putting up an invisible wall at a certain height. But then again, I'm not working at Projekt Red.
Yeah, that might be more of a balance thing where they want people to have freedom, but it was too hard to get like the proper level of freedom where they couldn't do game breaking stuff, right? Like it might have been a matter of, the invisible walls might not have been enough because that might have been too restrictive for what they wanted to do.
I think there was a large Reddit post detailing every single feature that has been removed from the game during development. I might find that while somebody else talks about their opinion on Cyberpunk.
Do you have any idea how many Google results I get when I Google Alien John?
Just Google Alien John GBA temp.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, Steven, what do you have to say while I do that?
I was hoping it was going to be a bunch of Reddit posts looking for the final build of Alien John. Just people have been clamoring for it for years. I was going to say, similar to the removal of features that Alan John was talking about, I remember reading that at some point during the production, they reduced the story a lot as well and the number of quests because in Witcher 3, I think estimates are like it takes maybe 100 hours to like do everything in that game, between possibly up to 200 depending on how much of a completionist you are, and it was just too much for people to do. People found it overwhelming. There was too much content, so they even made a point of like reducing the story elements in this game because it was too much. And still, it seems to be such a big game that it's taken them this long to squash all the bugs and to get everything sorted out. I don't know. CD Projekt Red it seems like maybe they're one of those companies that they need maybe they need better producers on hand to tell them no or to put limitations on them because they just have too many resources and too much money at this point to just do anything, and they just make these like giant sprawling games that are maybe a bit too unwieldy for them to handle development wise. And I mean, I don't mean, yeah, because I'm not saying they're too big or unwieldy from a creative perspective, because again, by all accounts, everybody loves their games, but I don't know, just for the sake of their workers and for the sake of keeping a consistent production schedule, they might need to scale back slightly on their ambitions.
Okay, yeah, so I found the post and I was a little bit wrong. It wasn't originally from Reddit, it was a 4chan post. But the Reddit post was like a counter argument to this entire post, rebuting every single accusation that was made that specific features were removed. So basically, the 4chan post says car customization was removed, apartment customization was removed, wall running was removed, third-person cutscenes were removed, and so on, while the Reddit post details like, okay, yeah, car customization, it's now like a loot system. It wasn't even in the game to begin with. Wall running was just like a mid to late game upgrade anyways, so doesn't really matter if it was removed. So yeah, wall running was definitely removed, and robot companion, you used to be able to have a robot companion in the game, but now you can't. And what you said about the storyline being cut down, are you sure it was cut down? Because the only news I heard about the storyline being smaller was that it was smaller in comparison to Witcher 3 because they realized that most people didn't actually finish Witcher 3 because of how large the story is. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I didn't explain it properly. I think that was sort of what I meant, was in the initial, it wasn't like they had a whole bunch of stuff planned out and then cut it back. I sort of more meant, yeah, they made a point of like comparing it to Witcher 3 and reducing that, like bringing that down, maybe not being quite as ambitious as they would have been if they hadn't gotten that feedback from Witcher 3. Although then again, if that was based on reception to Witcher 3 and that didn't come out till 2015 and they announced this in 2012, then maybe they did have to scale back from where they originally were, right?
I mean, I just want people to know that I'm not a Cyberpunk hater or a CD Projekt Red hater. I own most of their games, and I actually have a pre-order on Cyberpunk 2077. Like, this is probably the only game I've pre-ordered. Other than, I don't know if you could call Minecraft a pre-order, but I bought that when it was in beta as well. And that's actually, returning back to that topic, it's kind of insane how I remember 10 years ago playing Minecraft back when it was a novelty browser game. Like, wow, you could move in 3D in a browser.
I know, right?
That's insane. And now it's in Smash?
And now it's worth billions of dollars.
Yeah, right.
Unreal.
No, it's not Unreal. It's like on a custom Java-based engine. It's not Unreal.
Oh, I apologize. Sorry.
It's about as real as square holes.
If you jump into something and it makes a hole, unless you're a perfect square, how would it make us? Okay, we're not arguing about this, okay?
Guys, Alien John is the coolest shit ever. Like, I'm looking at the gameplay trailer for it. Oh my god.
Alien John in Smash.
Dude, Alien John for Smash. Yeah, wow. I'm watching the 2016 build. Wow. I mean, that's
Real.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
pretty
4
lit.
years ago.
It's pretty lit.
Oh. Yeah, everything in that game was made by me. Everything. Like, you down to the sound effects, I made them myself.
Well, I'm not listening to that because I'm listening to your lovely
You
voices.
should. The music's the best thing about that game. Okay, this is your assignment, Eric. I want you. Okay, forget about the bar exam. Forget about that. I want a 500-word essay about Alien John, why it failed, why it was great, and why Alan John needs to return back to its development.
Yeah, it'll be titled Alien John. At least it's not E.T.
Can I just ask, when you say you made the sound effects yourself, in my head I'm picturing you doing them, like recording them yourself, being like pew 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 boop boop boop. Like, that's how I picture you doing the sound effects yourself, and it sounds fucking kind of awesome. Actually, I would play the shit out of Alien John if that was how it worked.
Yeah, it's kind of like how it worked. I used an oscillator and I used a pitch envelope, and on top of that, I added a bit crusher. You probably don't understand what I'm talking about, but somebody
Nope.
who's listening to this probably does. So yeah,
All right,
that's that.
that's exciting.
I just hope the game comes out and it's good. Like, that's all I care. Okay, crunch time. At least these devs are being paid overtime. All right.
Yeah, so this guy, he has been saying everything right up front, where he said earlier there was definitely going to be no crunch, and then he had to backtrack on it, and he says he's been doing really long hours as well, and, you know, deciding to do the crunch was, like, the worst decision he's ever had to make, or the hardest decision, and all this stuff. But the thing that I'm thinking about with this, and I sort of touched on earlier when I was talking about scaling back their ambition and all this other stuff, do you guys think that's viable for a lot of companies moving forward? Like, do you think audiences always expect more and more out of their games, and that's why this culture of crunch exists? And do you think there's a way to pare back audience expectations, or for them to accept that it might take longer for a new sequel to come out if it means avoiding crunch? Like, would people accept a Witcher 4 that was only 30 to 50 hours long instead of 200 if it meant no crunch for CD Projekt Red? Or do you think we're just stuck in this cycle now of everything always has to be bigger and growing and on and on?
I would hope that people would be okay with having more realistic expectations and not constantly expecting exponential growth like that. If The Witcher 4 is going to be 200 hours long and it takes twice as long to develop, I would prefer that over making workers hurt. I'm for health above all else. So
It's really tough because there are a lot of people who aren't even necessarily aware of this. Like, you can take the moral position of like, well, I'll support that game because they had ethical work conditions. But most people playing The Witcher aren't necessarily following that. They might not, or certainly Cyberpunk probably has a broader appeal than The Witcher at this point, especially where it's going to launch on the new consoles. So, like, I don't know. Do you think, but like, would the average person see that, and would they just be willing to accept a smaller Witcher title, or I don't know, because it really it puts the whole crunch thing into a really difficult position, I guess. Like, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get away from this as long as people always want bigger games.
yeah, I think you're right in a realistic sense that this is sort of how it's going to be, even though it's not necessarily how it has to be.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think any game being good is worth some of the horror stories you've heard from Crunch. Not necessarily from CD Projekt Red, but, like Rockstar and I believe Crystal Dynamics also had some big Crunch stories in the last year or so.
It's a very good question. Like, I hope it's possible somehow to develop these games and improve upon like quality, story, map design, gameplay without, crunch time. Just have longer development cycles. I don't think anybody is really against that.
Yeah, or I mean, this might be controversial. We might be going into a bad territory here, but you could say that, just get bigger development teams and divert more money from the top down to the lower people, and then you get bigger development teams, more people to carry the load, and you don't need crunch, likely. But
Speaking of these big budget games, what I'd like to talk about is how, companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these huge games, and then in the end, the media cycle is just filled with games like the Fall Guys and Among Us.
yeah,
Which had like a budget of a burrito and like a sandwich.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we were just talking about with Minecraft. People like that came out in the early 2010s, and that was probably around the new console cycle when that got like really, really big, and mainstream publishers and the console, the platform owners were trying to push, more impressive graphics and bigger worlds and more story, and trying to tell people that that's what they wanted, and that's probably what they thought consumers wanted. And it turns out what they wanted was a, Lego simulator. And now lately, we've had the same thing with Fall Guys, where people want these cute little guys competing in obstacle courses or whatever Fall Guys is. I haven't actually played it, but
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
maybe it's just that the AAA game industry has convinced themselves that this is what people need, and games need to keep being bigger and bigger and bigger. Or maybe they want to set the bar that high so that indie developers can't properly compete with them because they can't have those resources. But I don't know. I would be interested to see games almost try to be a little bit smaller. Because, I mean, there have been smaller games that have come out recently. God of War 2018 on the PS4 is a relatively small, focused game, and that did very well, didn't it?
It did do very well.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I think if studios were a little bit more willing to just not go so far over the top with their stuff, maybe they would be able to avoid this crunch. I don't know. And, yeah. I don't know. I'm sort of thinking out loud right now. I don't have a specific idea of where I'm going with this.
At least the devs in CD Projekt Red, they're doing crunch and they're working overtime basically. And at least they're getting paid for their overtime. Unlike some companies, I won't name any specific companies, but some companies they don't pay for overtime, but they force their developers to work overtime. So, have you heard of the news? The guys from Blizzard making their own company. Steve, have you heard of this?
No, I haven't. Tell me more.
No, I thought you were supposed to tell me because I didn't do any research at all about this topic.
Jeez, Steven. Oh man, that's like he's like knock knock, and you're like nobody's here.
So basically, a couple of key people from Blizzard have been trickling away from it after its acquisition by, or did they merge, or were they purchased by acquisition or by Activision? Sorry.
Are you asking me?
I am. Blizzard merged with Activision a few years ago. And again, we were talking earlier about certain companies that like people just think can do no wrong. Like, Eric said Ubisoft can't do any wrong. People feel that way about CD Projekt Red. They felt that way about Steam for a long time. Or Valve, sorry. And Blizzard was kind of the same way, but recently I think people have been turning on Blizzard for various reasons, mainly, stuff like the loot boxes in Overwatch and stuff like that, and the real money auction house in Blizzard in what was that game? Diablo 3 and the whole Diablo mobile game fiasco. And
they were just mad about that because they don't have phones.
Yeah. And so a few key people from Blizzard have left and started their own. Well, I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's a company called Dreamhaven that has 2 studios working under it. So I'm not sure if Dreamhaven is supposed to be a parent company or a publisher. I'm looking at the announcement on their website right now, and there's nothing specific there. But it's former CEO and co-founder of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Morhaime, has it.
Yeah.
And they have...
His wife.
Is his wife involved?
Yeah. His
Okay.
wife, Amy.
Yeah, and so they have 2 studios right now, Moonshot and Secret Door, who are being headed up by a bunch of former people from Blizzard, executive producers and developers, people that have worked on StarCraft and Warcraft and all the big games that people know Blizzard for. Probably anything. A lot of their big computer games. I don't think a lot of the console stuff like Overwatch or do they have a MOBA they do now, I think Blizzard does. Like, I think what people think of as classic Blizzard is what Dreamhaven seems to be doing. And there's still not a lot of information out about them yet. There's no like specific game projects they've announced or anything. But I thought this was really interesting, and it almost feels like the company equivalent of like a Kickstarter revival of something, like when Inafune announced Mighty Number 9 because Capcom hadn't been doing anything with that IP, and so
That went well.
It did go. It went very well. And so he went right to the people and he said, hey, I'm going to do a brand new one and like get away from the big corporate, mucking about and all this. And this sort of feels like these creative people and some business people, like I said, the former CEO is involved, trying to do the same thing and get away from big corporate Activision. And do you guys have any thoughts on this? I think this is kind of interesting and exciting.
Well, I'm always glad when talented developers and people, they break off from these toxic companies. Like Blizzard at some point was probably the most well-loved company, but now recently, I think after its acquisition by Activision, things started going downhill for it. People have been asking for a long time for a new single-player Warcraft. That's not coming anytime soon, I think, just because of how much money World of Warcraft makes. I think that's a factor, but what I'm saying is, it's a lot better for these people to break off and start something of their own, pour some talent into something else. Like, at least they could work in an environment that's comfortable for them. So that's a great thing. I mean, I'm eager to see what Dreamhaven could create because, Blizzard would need some competition. Is there any like Diablo competitor or WoW competitor?
Not like on a major scale.
Maybe Guild Wars 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like Guild Wars 2 is still going. It's probably the biggest MMO other than World of Warcraft.
I would even say stuff like Hearthstone doesn't have a lot of competition, right? Like in terms of casual sort of, card-based games.
Maybe like Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe like Pokemon.
But not in the video game space. I don't know if any of those video games have taken off much. Obviously Pokemon is big in the video game space, but not their card game version.
Yeah, well, Duel Links is pretty big in Yu-Gi-Oh, but
oh, is it? Okay.
Nothing compared to Hearthstone, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this moment to tell people that this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. All right, you just gotta.
No, it's not. No, but hey, Raid Shadow Legends. If you want to give me $10,000 for a sponsorship, hit me up. What's my email? Do we have an email? Podcast@gbatemp.net. Wait, no, it doesn't work.
Wait, let's go get that set up quick.
Yeah.
Shit. Where's Cherry? Contact Cherry right now.
People are going to be emailing that now. Yeah, there's not a ton to say about it, honestly, because they haven't announced anything specific yet. But it like I was saying, I just think it's exciting to see something that might be as beloved as Blizzard used to be, and to see a lot of these core people get away from it.
Yeah, the last Blizzard game I played was Overwatch, and I completely abandoned it after the Hong Kong controversy. I decided to boycott Blizzard, and after that, I didn't want to come back. Like it was failing in my eyes. The competitive scene, it became like too competitive. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually don't know that I've ever played a Blizzard game. As weirdly as excited as I was about this, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever played a single Blizzard game. I used to play Diablo 2 when I was a kid, and the only thing I remember about it is that when I set up my character, my brother took the keyboard away from me and wrote in my name as gay, so that when I pulled up the menu, it has your name and your class, and so it said "Gay Warrior" at the top of my screen every time I pause the game. It's my only memory of Blizzard. And that's what I'm excited for with Dreamhaven Studios. I'm hoping they can recapture that feeling of being a small 8-year-old boy being bullied by your older brother.
That's hilarious. All I have to say about it is I think that the fact that all of these people are leaving the big, evil Blizzard company is uber cool. I think that Blizzard must have a chip on their shoulder, and Nintendo don't need to go back to them. Anyway, did you guys hear about Nintendo and Uberchips recently?
Wait, what? What happened?
That was a good one, right? So,
I think Dreamhaven's going to be a blue chip stock in a few years.
oh, it definitely will. That's a good one. I didn't talk about stocks today. Stocks are down because Donald Trump has COVID. That's all I have to say about stocks. So, Nintendo, they won a lawsuit.
Keep politics out of the fucking video game podcast, Eric. God damn you.
Nintendo, they won a lawsuit, $2 million against Uberchips for selling the SXOS, which I don't think many people on GBA Temp have ever heard of that, but it helps you do piracy things and other things, but including piracy things, which is bad. But Nintendo won a lawsuit, $2 million. It is going to... Actually, I'm not going to say that it's going to put Uberchips out of business because I don't know if it will. But that happened, and that's pretty interesting, wouldn't you guys say?
Well, just on him being put out of business, the stipulation also says that he can't resell any more Team Xecuter products, and anything left over either has to be handed over to Nintendo or destroyed. So I would say he's definitely out of that business at the very least.
Nintendo's not going to be able to go against the owner of Uberchips. I forgot his name. Whatever. They're not going to be able to go up, receive money from him personally because, he's behind that LLC of Uberchips. So if anybody is worried that Nintendo is beating up this poor guy and they're going to take his entire life away, no, they're probably just going to shut down his company for doing that thing that was illegal to do anyway. So
yeah.
I don't feel bad for the guy. I think that he's going to be able to go home and cry, but still be able to eat. So, yeah, that's my whole thing on it.
I read something on the internet saying that this was done as a scare tactic to other resellers, especially with the $2 million fine. It's not necessarily that Nintendo is actually going to get those $2 million. I mean, what's $2 million for Nintendo? They're just doing this in order to prevent other people from trying to do this.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they're probably not going to get the $2 million, but this might be enough to, if they're trying to enforce the settlement, they can, presumably foreclose on the company and then get all of its assets and stuff. So I don't know if that'll actually amount to the $2 million, but you're right. It's not about the money for them, but they're definitely sending a message. And can you blame them?
It kind of reminds me, I think the same thing happened a couple of decades ago, maybe like 1 decade ago, maybe more, back when Nintendo sued R4 and flashcard sellers for the original Nintendo DS. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't know they got sued.
Yeah, at some point you could buy DS flash cards in retail stores at one point. I might be wrong. I might be pulling this out of my ass, but I think something like that, or maybe like on, major websites like Amazon, you could buy those flash cards. But then Nintendo stepped in and was like, "Nope, you can't do that." And from that day on, you could only purchase an R4 card through, online resellers from China and stuff like that.
I think you can still get them on Amazon. I'm looking at one here.
Okay.
A GBA flash card that comes right from Amazon. Yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry. It comes from a third-party seller, but it's fulfilled by Amazon. So you're probably right. Yeah.
That's after that. I think Nintendo even sued the original R4 company, the first ones who made like a working proper DS flash card. The R4 wasn't necessarily the first one; it was the first good one, I think.
Yeah.
Because other ones you had to connect it to your PC, and it had like an LED that lighted up. But R4 had its own firmware and stuff like that. You could update it, and yeah, that was pretty cool at the time. But Nintendo stepped in and they were like, "Nope, you can't do that." And that was the only time they stepped in, because after that you got Super Card, DS2, you got Ace Card, and they did not care about that at all. So that was weird. Maybe this is going to be the same. Maybe at some point in the future, when we're in the second half of the Switch's life cycle, we're going to get a good, probably expensive Switch flash card, and Nintendo won't care as much. That probably won't happen, but anything's possible.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, so the other thing, there are other resellers of the SXOS dongles that you can get, and it seems like, so there's still a few up and running. I guess, like Eric was saying, that's probably a scare tactic to try and just get those guys to shut down, but like, I don't know that this means anything major in the short term. And I mean, there's still other homebrew options besides that. Atmosphere is still, anyone can do that without the need for third-party accessories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what this means in the short or the long term, really. It's an interesting story for Nintendo to get this involved in it, but
because Nintendo doesn't really want another PlayStation Portable situation. With the PSP, when it came out, it got hacked instantly, and with its Pandora battery exploit, with Sony not being able to patch it up in time, being a cat and mouse game with the hackers always winning in the end, and in the end, Sony just gave up with the PSP, and practically everybody who bought a PSP hacked it or modded it instantly, because it was ridiculously easy to do so.
In high school, that reminds me, I actually hacked a couple of my friends' PSPs just because I enjoyed it so much. I did it for mine. I was like, guys, did you know you could do this? Oh, yeah. So they bring it to me. I'm like, all right, here you go. Here you go. I didn't charge them for it or anything. I just did it. It's funny so that's when I started making YouTube videos, was how to hack PSPs. It's just, and get emulators and stuff. It was so cool as a high schooler being able to just easily do that. So thank you for your very exploitable PlayStation Portable, Sony. You really made my life good because of that.
yeah, set you on the path you're on now.
Yeah.
How weird then that you went into law school after that. You're working both sides of the system.
Yeah, because then I always come out on top. Oh, actually, if I can say something personal about that really quickly. So, viewers, hi. Listeners, hello again. I'm taking the bar exam in 3 days. It'll actually be tomorrow from when this comes out. So, Monday and Tuesday, the 5th and 6th. So, if you could just give me good thoughts and prayers and whatever, I'd appreciate that. So, because if I take that and I pass it, I get to be a lawyer, and then that'll be pretty friggin' dope. So do that, please. Thank you. Also download Raid Shadow Legends using my code Alexander.
No.
Can I just double check? You only wanted the listeners to do that, right? Me and Alan John don't have to do anything. Right?
You don't have to, but
okay, thank you. All right,
but those people have to.
Let's move on to.
Yeah.
No, good luck, buddy.
Now, I'll give you my best wishes. I'll give you my energy. You're gonna be like Goku. We're gonna be all the animals, all the living things in the universe, giving you your energy.
The spirit bar.
Yes, spirit bar.
And then if you do that, maybe I could be just like Goku and be in the next Super Smash Bros. Character DLC.
Speaking of which, have you guys heard about Steven becoming part of
Yeah.
just an endless looping podcast?
Oh yeah. So just doubling back. So here are going to be the next 3 Smash Bros. Predictions. Steven, because they already got Steve from Minecraft, they're going to get Steven from here. They're going to get me as Goku because you're giving me the bar exam energy, and they're going to have Alien John. All right.
Yeah.
So this is Steven, Goku, Alien John signing out. Bye, Raid Shadow Legends today, and I love you.
Douche that and bleach your anally and just do everything. Sorry, you're a fucking pervert, Eric. How dare you? I'm still upset that you said that last week. You're goddamn disgusting. I'm sorry.
Good night, everyone.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, right after we finished recording, major news in the hacking scene broke out, just posted by Cherry, our own Cherry on GBA Temp, that the hackers from Team Xecutor have been arrested and they are charged in federal indictment. This is major big news in the scene. Team Xecutor, if it still even exists. I mean, Eric unfortunately can't be here, which is a shame since
He was extradited to the States to stand trial in the Executor.
yeah,
Case.
he's gonna defend Executor. I probably shouldn't say that, even though that is a joke.
I was saying that he got arrested along with them for being one of the hackers.
Nah,
whatever. It's one of those, I think. No, he's of course busy studying for the bar.
Eric's got the bar on Monday, and I believe that the bar is a serious exam, and you should definitely prepare for it. Now, getting back to the news, it says right here that, one of our own, even, a GBA temp user, Gary Bowser, known as Gary Yappa on the forum, is now in custody, which is pretty insane. I'm on the Department of Justice website right now, and it says right here, 2 leaders of one of the world's most notorious video game piracy groups, Team Xecutor, have been arrested and are in custody, facing charges filed in the U.S. District Court in Seattle. Seattle is Washington. So it's Max Loarn, 48, a French national of Avignon, France, Yuning Shen, a Chinese national of Shenzhen, China, and Gary Bowser, which we've already mentioned, a Canadian national of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Again, guys, this is straight out of the Department of Justice website. This is official, so it says right here that the enterprise targeted popular consoles such as the Nintendo Switch, which Team Xecutor is probably well known of, the Nintendo 3DS, which I'm not that familiar of their activity in the 3DS hacking scene. Maybe Steven could elaborate on that. And also, they seems to hacked the Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition, and also the Sony PlayStation Classic and the Microsoft Xbox. Is that supposed to be the original Xbox?
I believe so, yeah. So there were a few different projects they were involved in, and I don't believe it was known until now that it was definitely the same group. But yeah, they were behind Gateway 3DS, Stargate, True Blue Mini, Classic 2 Magic, and all the SX line for the Switch, which included SXOS, SX Pro, XS Lite, and the SX Core.
Yeah, I remember now that they used to be part of Gateway before they formed Team Xecutor. Yeah.
I wasn't sure how much of that was public knowledge, because I thought I saw a few people being surprised that the SX team was definitely part of some of those other projects. Maybe some of them were known and some weren't.
So the charges, these probably aren't charges, but these defendants, this is what it says on the Department of Justice website. These defendants were allegedly leaders of a notorious international criminal group that reaped illegal profits for years by pirating video game technology of U.S. companies. Now, is Nintendo a U.S. company? I don't know.
Well, I know. Isn't Nintendo of America's headquarters in Washington, and this is being tried in Seattle?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Redmond, Washington, I think, right?
Yeah, this is in Seattle. Might be. It might be how that works.
It is hilarious that when we're discussing the lawsuit, we don't have, like, it's the one time we don't have the lawyer on the show with us.
Yeah.
It would have been nice. He would have had some idea about the legal system.
Yeah, that is kind of sad, really.
Yeah.
These defendants lined their pockets by stealing and selling the work of other video game developers, even going so far as to make customers pay a licensing fee to play stolen games. Now, this seems to imply that they were not selling, but redistributing ROMs. Did Xecuter do that?
I honestly don't know because I have not. I used Atmosphere.
Yeah, but you did that just for educational purposes, not in order to pirate anything.
Of course.
Yeah, good.
Of course.
Good. We just talked about Nintendo using scare tactics with that $2 million lawsuit. Now, I think this is definitely not a scare tactic if they, arrested, well, not Nintendo directly, but they definitely did something to get them arrested.
I wonder how much of a scare tactic it might be against the developers of Atmosphere. I mean, if I was working on a similar homebrew software right now, I would probably be taking a lot of notice of this situation. Now, Atmosphere is different because there's no product to buy for Atmosphere. There's no money involved anywhere in that process, so it's not exactly the same thing. But it is also interesting to note some of these charges, because I mean, some of them would apply to other homebrew software developers, but a lot of them don't seem like they do. Like, they've been convicted of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. So a lot of that does not seem totally connected with other software developers, although they have also been charged with conspiracy to circumvent technological measures and to traffic in circumvention devices, and with trafficking in circumvention devices. So
you think they'd be arrested if this was all just open source, if they didn't sell it, gave it out for free, the exploit?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure to Nintendo it doesn't make a difference whether or not people are charging for this, because it still facilitates the piracy of their software. But does it make it easier for the government to come in and arrest them? I honestly don't know. I would think not, but maybe it does. But I mean, has there ever been, like, is there a history of homebrew developers being arrested like this? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Concerning like homebrew and custom firmware development, I don't think so. The only thing that gets into my mind were, hackers who tried to access, data servers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not something like this. Of course, there have been arrests of people redistributing copyrighted material, ROMs, and stuff like that, but not like this, really. Well, this is actually kind of crazy. It says right here that they were arrested, Lauron and Bowser, in connection to the charges with this case back in September. So that was a couple of days ago at least. And the United States will seek Lauren's extradition to stand trial in the United States. So Lauren is a French national, so he's probably in France trying to get extradited. And also, Gary Bowser was arrested and deported from the Dominican Republic and appeared today in federal court in New Jersey. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like somebody who lives in the Dominican Republic, they could arrest you and deport you to Seattle, Washington, to trial you for crimes against a company based in another country. That's kind of crazy. I mean, not saying that it was wrong, but I don't know who's to say.
I would be curious about exactly when they were arrested, because the report on the Department of Justice website does just say September 2020. So I don't know. I wonder how long the that extradition case was in order to get him deported from the Dominican Republic.
This case is being investigated jointly by the FBI and Homeland Security.
Yeah, Homeland Security. Homeland Security is interesting.
I mean, do they honestly think that Team Xecuter danger to Homeland Security? Like, what are they gonna do? Hack? Oh, these guys can hack a switch? Shit, they could probably hack nuclear power plants.
Maybe they're putting, Chinese spyware in with their SXOS dongles and spying on people through their switches.
Yeah, a third of the team is based in Shenzhen, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly. They could be getting all kinds of personal information on you from your Animal Crossing save.
Yep. It's a good thing these guys are in jail. I mean, I already feel safer.
Yeah, I don't know. This is big news, and it's hard to know what to make of this yet.
One thing I could say for sure is that we're gonna be keeping an eye on this, and so will be our Max staff. So we're gonna keep you guys updated on any news about this case ongoing, and I wonder what's gonna happen to Team Xecuter. I mean, is the Switch hack just not gonna be available anymore? Are they gonna make it free for everyone? I wonder.
I don't know. We'll try to have updated thoughts from Eric at the beginning of next week's show too, so that someone with some legal knowledge can say something other than I don't know what's going to happen.
After he passes the bar, he's going to be able to give his thoughts about this as a professional, I think. If he passes the bar, right? That makes him a lawyer, right?
Yeah, I believe so, in whatever state he's in. But I guess he can still comment on the cases in other states. We could probably start... Well, we might have to pay him to be on the show as like a legal consultant at this point.
I mean, we'd have to. I mean, yeah. I think that's how the law works.
All right.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening to the Tempcast and this addendum.
Tempcast 7.8, final chapter prologue.
The final chapter. This is the episode 7 DLC right here. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and good night.
Good night.